Hi, Jessica here, Yoga for Everybody, representing Zen Active Sports. Presenting another one of my favorite yoga poses here in my studio, the side angle pose. This is another standing pose, so let's go ahead and join together on the mats in a standing position, and I'll show you guys how to get into and out of this pose. From a standing position, let's of course begin by checking in with our alignment. Making sure the shoulders are down and away from the ears, chest is open, crown of the head lifts up to the sky, core muscles are engaged, hips are neutral, so the spine is straight, knees are either slightly bent or deeply bent, toes are spread nice and wide, feet hip-width apart, and we're pressing down into the mat with the bottoms of the feet. Making sure to evenly distribute our weight between the front, the back, the insides, and the outsides of the feet. With the arms, again, we can just gently rest them by our sides, or we can activate them by spreading the fingers nice and wide, palms facing away from the body, smiling, and taking those nice, deep belly breaths. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Always remembering, of course, that we can exhale through the mouth if we're ever feeling overheated in our practice. When we're ready to transition to the side angle pose, we'll go ahead and turn sideways on the mat so that when we step back with one foot, both feet will be on the sticky mat. Okay, I always start with my right foot first, but if you would rather start with your left, feel free to do that. And feel free also to experiment with the distance between the feet. Okay, obviously, the wider stance, the more challenging it's going to be, both for building strength and flexibility. Okay, then we'll take a look at the feet. Okay, so in yoga, we want the heels of the front foot to line up with the heels of the back foot. So it's in one straight line from heel to heel. Okay, this makes the balancing more challenging. So I encourage you to practice next to an empty wall space so you can have that hand on the wall for support, or if you don't have access to empty wall space, you can always have a chair nearby and rest your hand on your chair. Okay? Then we will take a look at the back toes and we'll kind of turn them at an angle. So not all the way to the side, but not all the way straight forward. Somewhere in the middle, like a 45-degree angle there. But then that's going to challenge how we press into the mat with our feet, because remember, we want to always evenly distribute our weight between the front, the back, the inside, and the outside of the feet. Okay? I, for instance, have a tendency to kind of push in more with the inside of my feet as opposed to evenly distributing between the inside and the outside. And this resulted in a serious ankle injury a few years ago. Okay, so ever since that injury, I've been a lot more conscientious of how I'm pressing into the mat, and especially these standing poses, obviously. So I encourage you guys to also really pay attention to the feet in these standing poses. They are the base of the pose. So if we're not evenly distributing, we could end up with a twisted ankle, like me. And as we all know, once we twist the ligaments in those ankles, those ligaments will never go back to their original size. They'll always be strained and stretched too far, so they'll always be sensitive. Okay? So from here, we'll put a bend to the front knee. Okay, either a little bend or a deep bend. Always making sure that you're stacking the joints, of course. So if you find yourself in this kind of a situation, you'll want to either lessen the bend in the knees or step back further so that, again, stacking the joints gives us more stability, preventing injury, preventing us from falling, which is always a good thing. Okay, then we'll turn the hips to the side. And let's go ahead and inhale, bring the arms up, and then we'll exhale and we'll bring the right forearm to rest on the right thigh. Okay, keeping that left arm straight up to the sky. Okay, and the final step is to turn the head to look up towards the top fingertips. But if this is not comfortable for the neck, we could stay looking straight forward, or we could look down. Okay, it's going to depend on the unique shape of your spine and how that neck feels. One thing to be aware of in this pose, in addition to the placement of the feet, of course, is a tendency to lean into the hamstring here, or the quadriceps. We never want to lean into that. We want to use, instead, the strength of the oblique muscles. Okay, so just really gently resting that forearm, making sure we're not kind of just pressing into that. Because I know it is easy to do. But once you start to feel yourself leaning into the legs, it's probably a good indication that you're ready to come out of the pose nice and slowly, turning that back heel before we come back to a standing position. You can go ahead and shake it out, take a couple resting breaths before you try it on the other side. So when we're ready to try it on the other side, we'll do the same thing. We'll start with both feet together, and then when we're ready, we'll step one foot back, experimenting with the distance between the feet. Remembering, of course, it's going to be more challenging to have a wide stance. Take a look at the heels of the feet. Make sure they're in a straight line from heel to heel. And then we'll take a look at the back toes. We'll make sure that they're pointed at a 45-degree angle. Hand on the wall for support if necessary. We'll bend the front knee. We'll inhale, bring the arms up. Turn the hips to the side if you haven't already. And then we'll exhale and we'll bring, this time, the left forearm to rest gently on the left leg. Bringing the right arm straight up, trying to keep the wrist in alignment with the shoulder. And if we want to, and it feels good, we can try turning the head to look up above the top fingertips. After a few deep breaths here, we can slowly come out of the pose, same way we came into it, essentially just straightening the upper body, turning the hips back to the center, turning the back heel, and then stepping forward back to a comfortable standing position. Thanks for practicing the side angle pose with me here on Zen Active Sports, where I cover a new video every week. So stay tuned for more tips and videos here at www.zenactivesports.com. Thanks again for practicing with me. Namaste.